Hi, this is Dr. Rajeshwar from YR PharmaTube. In the previous video, we discussed an introduction to the drugs acting on endocrine glands, and also we learnt the nomenclature and stereochemistry of steroids. I have given the link below this video, watch it. In this video, I would like to talk about the biosynthesis and metabolism of steroids. At the end of this lesson, you should understand the major biosynthetic pathways and metabolism of steroids. Introduction. Steroids are lipophilic, low molecular weight compounds derived from cholesterol that play a number of important physiological roles. As we discussed in the last lesson, the steroid hormones are synthesized mainly by the endocrine glands such as gonads, that is testis and ovary, the adrenal glands, and during gestation by the fetoplacental unit and are then released into the blood circulation. They act both on peripheral target tissues and on the central nervous system. An important function of the steroid hormones is to coordinate physiological and behavioral responses for specific biological purposes, that is, reproduction. Despite their relatively simple chemical structure, steroids occur in a wide variety of biologically active forms. This is not only due to the large range of compounds secreted by steroid synthesizing tissues, but also to the fact that circulating steroids are extensively metabolized peripherally, notably in the liver and in their target tissues, where conversion to an active form is sometimes required before they can elicit their biological responses. Steroid metabolism is therefore important not only for the production of these hormones but also for the regulation of their cellular and physiological actions. The biosynthesis of steroids. The hundreds of steroids found in animals, fungi and plants are made from lanosterol, that is in animals, and fungi, or cycloartinol, that is in plants. Lanosterol and cycloartinol derive from cyclization of triterpenoid, that is squalene. Steroid biosynthesis is an anabolic pathway which produces steroids from simple precursors. A unique biosynthetic pathway is followed in animals compared to many other organisms, making the pathway a common target for antibiotics and other anti-infection drugs. Steroid metabolism in humans is also the target of cholesterol-lowering drugs such as statins. The first method of biosynthesis is from acetate to cholesterol, which is also sometimes referred to as the mevalonate pathway or HMG-CoA reductase pathway. The 27 carbon skeleton of cholesterol is derived from acetyl-CoA through a series of reactions which begin with acetyl-CoA and ends with dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate, which is abbreviated as DMAPP, and isopentenyl pyrophosphate, that is IPP. DMAPP and IPP donate isoprene units which are assembled and modified to form terpenes and isoprenoids, a large class of lipids which include the carotenoids and form the largest class of plant natural products. Here, the isoprene units are joined to make squalene and folded into a set of rings to make lanosterol. Lanosterol can then be converted into other steroids such as cholesterol and ergosterol. The second method is steroidogenesis, that is from cholesterol to progestins, androgens and estrogens. Steroidogenesis is the biological process by which steroids are generated from cholesterol and changed into other steroids. The major classes of steroid hormones are the progestogen, corticosteroids, androgens, and estrogens. Progestogens are the precursors of all the other human steroids, and all human tissues which produce steroids must first convert cholesterol to pregnenolone. Pregnenolone can be converted either to progesterone, which branches to the glucocorticoid and androgen or estrogen pathways, or to 17-alpha hydroxypregnenolone, which is another route for the formation of androgens and estrogens. Cortisol, corticosterone, aldosterone and testosterone are produced in the adrenal cortex. Estrogen formation requires another P450 enzyme, that is the aromatase complex. Estradiol and estrone are interconvertible through a reversible reaction involving another 17 beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase as in the androstenedione testosterone conversion. Aromatase activity is present in the ovary and in the placenta. In the ovary, aromatase activity and estrogen formation occur in granulosa cells and are controlled by the follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH, whereas production of the androgenic substrates, that is testosterone and 4-androstenedione, requires luteinizing hormone stimulation of the theca cells. The third method is from progesterone and 17-alpha hydroxyprogesterone to glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. Hydroxylation of progesterone at carbon 21 yields 11-deoxycorticosterone and corticosterone after another hydroxylation step at carbon 11. Corticosterone is a major glucocorticoid in rats and other species which do not produce cortisol. Two further steps, that is hydroxylation and oxidoreduction at carbon 18, result in the formation of aldosterone. Cortisol is formed from 17-alpha hydroxyprogesterone with 11-deoxycortisol as an intermediate. Cortisol is the main glucocorticoid secreted by human adrenal glands. Steroid biosynthesis in the fetoplacental unit. Progesterone is produced by the corpus luteum during the first 6 to 8 weeks of gestation, but during pregnancy, the main source for this period is the placenta. Estrogen levels and that of its metabolite estriol rise markedly during gestation. The substrate for estrogen biosynthesis in the fetoplacental unit is dehydroepiandrosterone sulfate, which is obtained from the fetomaternal bloodstream. Enzymes involved in steroid biosynthesis. The reactions discussed above are catalyzed by a limited number of enzymes as listed here. Number 1, desmolases or lyases. Number 2, hydroxylases. Number 3, hydroxysteroid dehydrogenases or oxidoreductases. And number 4, aromatase enzymes. Coming to the first one, desmolases. These are the enzymes that catalyze reactions which result in the removal of parts of the original cholesterol side chain. This involves sequential hydroxylation of adjacent carbon, that is of C20 and C22, and requires a cytochrome P450, molecular oxygen and NADPH as a cofactor. These enzymes are located in the mitochondria and are linked to an electron transport system. Hydroxylases. These are the enzymes that are membrane-bound enzymes and are present either in the mitochondria or in the microsomal fraction of the cell. They also require a cytochrome P450, molecular oxygen and NADPH as for lyases. The third one is hydroxysteroid dehydrogenases. These enzymes catalyze reversible reactions and depend either on NADPH or NADH. They are found both in the cell cytosol and in the microsomal fraction. And the fourth one is aromatase. Conversion of the A ring to a phenolic structure, that is with a phenolic hydroxyl group at C3, a process known as aromatization, which involves a complex sequence of hydroxylation reactions and loss of the angular C19 methyl group. Aromatase activity is mainly found in the ovary, the placenta and the brain, and is also membrane bound. Its substrate is either 4-androstenedione or testosterone. The gene encoding human aromatase cytochrome P450 has been cloned recently and its expression has been shown to be regulated by tissue-specific promoters. Steroid inactivation and catabolism. Inactivation refers to the metabolic conversion of a biologically active compound into an inactive compound. Inactivation can occur at various stages of hormone action. Peripheral inactivation, that is by liver enzymes, is required to ensure steady state levels of plasma hormones as steroids are more or less continuously secreted into the bloodstream. Moreover, if a hormone is to act as a chemical signal, its half-life in the circulation must be limited so that any change in secretion rate is immediately reflected by a change in its plasma concentration, particularly when secretion rates are decreased. But hormone inactivation can also occur in target tissues, notably after the hormone has triggered the relevant biological effects in order to ensure termination of hormone action. The main site of peripheral steroid inactivation and catabolism is the liver, but some catabolic activity also occurs in the kidneys. Inactive hormones are mainly eliminated as urinary, mostly conjugated metabolites. Usually, steroids are eliminated once they have been inactivated, that is, they are not recycled. This elimination, that is as a urinary excretion product, requires conversion to hydrophilic compounds in order to ensure their solubility in biological fluids at rather high concentrations. Depending on the structure of the starting steroid, the following reactions may be involved. Number 1. Reduction of a double bond at C4 and reduction of an oxo or keto group at C3 to a secondary alcoholic group. Number 2. Reduction of an oxo group at C20 to a secondary alcoholic group. Number 3. Oxidation of a 17 beta hydroxyl group. Number 4. Further hydroxylations at various positions of the steroid nucleus, that is 7 hydroxylation of 5 alpha reduced androgens. And number 5. Conjugation, that is sulfate and or glucuronide derivatives. The table given here shows the examples of steroid excretion products. Formation of steroid conjugates. Conjugation, that is formation of hydrophilic molecules, is an important step in steroid catabolism. Most excretory products are in conjugated form. Two major pathways are used here. Number 1, formation of glucuronides, and number 2, formation of sulfates. Formation of glucuronides is a reaction that requires uridine diphosphoglucuronic acid and glucuronyl transferase enzyme. In this reaction, glucuronic acid is attached to a hydroxyl group on the steroid molecule. And the second one is formation of sulfates. This conversion is catalyzed by sulfokinase enzyme, which occur in the cytosol of liver, testicle, adrenal, and foetal tissues. The substrates are steroids with a hydroxyl group and phosphoadenosine 5-phosphosulfate. This is a three-step reaction that requires magnesium ions. Two examples of conjugated derivatives, that is glucuronide and sulfate derivatives, are given here. The structure on the left is testosterone and estrone sulfate is on the right. These two steroid conjugates found in human urine as excretory product for testosterone and estrone respectively. In addition to being excretory products, sulfates are also found in endocrine tissues and are the plasma as precursors for hormone synthesis. This is the case of dehydroepiandrosterone sulfate, which is used notably for estrogen biosynthesis in the fetoplacental unit. Sulfatases occurring in the microsomal fraction of the liver, testis, ovary, adrenal and placental that catalyze the hydrolysis of sulfated steroids to free steroids. The digestive juice of the snail Helix pomatia contains both sulfatase and glucuronidase activity, and extracts from this source are used to hydrolyze urinary conjugates in vitro for clinical assessment of total and conjugated excretion products. These are the references followed for the lecture. That's all in this lesson, the biosynthesis and metabolism of steroids. In the next class, we learn the sex hormones. Till then, never stop learning and never stop watching my videos. Thank you for watching this video.